Biography Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah. His name is Shams ad-Din Abu Abdullah Muhammad Ibnu Abi Bakr Ibnu Ayyub Arzulil. Ibnu Qayyim was born at 7 Safar 691 Hijrah at Damashq. Ibnu Qayyim was dead at 13 Rajab 751 Hijrah at age 60 years. Ibnu Qayyim, also known as Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah. His main interest is ethics, fiqh, aqidah, and hadith.
Among the field of Ibn Qayyim studies, firstly, field of fiqh and usul fiqh, tafsir al-Quran, hadith, the field of Sufism, field of words and philosophy, history, and lastly, philosophy of Islamic economics. Ibn Qayyim's earnestness and perseverance in learning knowledge made him famous as a great fiqh. This diversity of field of knowledge also reflects the greatness and breadth of his knowledge in various fields of knowledge, including mathematics, astronomy, physics, logic, and so on, especially in ulum al-sharia. These science qualified him to be called a scholar or Islamic theologian, as well as a great Islamic philosopher in his time.
Ibnu Qayyim is well known as an extensive scholar with his knowledge. He also was a prolific writer. Among the books written by Ibnu Qayyim are Kitab At-Tibyan fi Iqsam al-Quran, Tafsir al-Mu'awwizatain, Tafsir Surah Al-Fatihah, Kitab Madarish As-Sadiqin, Tahdib As-Siman by Abu Daud, and Al-Wabil Al-Sayyab min Al-Kalam At-Tayyib.
Ibnu Qayyim is commonly known as Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah after his father Abu Bakr ibn Sa'ad al-Zuri, who was the superintendent Qayyim of the Jawziyah Madrasah. He was born in a small farming village near Damascus, Syria, and he studied under his father, who was the local attendant Qayyim of al-Jawziyah school. His schooling centered around Islamic jurisprudence, theology, and the science of prophetic traditions. Ibnu Qayyim belongs to the Hanbali school of Orthodox Sunni jurisprudence, which he is regarded as one of the most important thinkers and today is best known as the foremost disciple and student of the controversial 14th century Sunni theologian Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn al-Qayyim once was imprisoned with his teacher Ibn Taymiyyah from 1326 until 1328, and when Ibn Taymiyyah died, Ibn al-Qayyim was released. Ibn Qayyim was an avid and a resolute worshipper. He devoted long hours to his supererogatory nightly prayers, and he was in a constant state of remembrance, zikr, and he was known for his extended prostrations. He has excellent character, wide knowledge, and courageous heart. Ibn Hajar said about him, he had a courageous heart, was vast in knowledge, and was well acquainted with the differences of opinion in the madhahib of the Salaf. Ibn Qayyim was most friendly and kind-hearted. He never envied anyone, he never caused harm to anyone, and he never bore prejudice against anyone. Ibn al-Qayyim catered to all the branches of Islamic science and was particularly known and commended for his commentaries. Al-Hafiz Ibn Rajab spoke of his teacher, saying, "He was an accomplished scholar of Islamic science and no one could rival him in his deep understanding of the Quran and prophetic saying, and his interpretations were unique in accuracy."
Next, Ibn Qayyim was studied with a lot of teachers, and the most famous teachers were first Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Qayyim al-Jawziyah was his father, and he learned from him about Fara'id, and then Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, and he learned from him about Tafsir, Hadith, Fiqh, Fara'id, and Al-Kalam, and then Al-Mizzi rahimahullah, Muhammad bin Abdul Hadi, Ibn Abdi ad-Daim, Al-Shihab al-Abir, Ibn Maktum, Al-Majdi al-Harani. He was learned from him about Fiqh, Fara'id, and Usul Fiqh, and then Sharifuddin Ibn Taymiyyah, and the last one Al-Qadi Badruddin Muhammad bin Ibrahim bin Jama'ah al-Kinani. Ibn Qayyim also have a lot of students. The first one is Shamsuddin Muhammad Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, and then Shamsuddin Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin Az-Zahabi, which is Imam Az-Zahabi, and then Imad ad-Din Ismail bin Umar bin Kathir, which is Imam Ibn Kathir. Next, Yusuf bin Abdul Rahman al-Mizzi, Ibn Rajab al-Hambali, Ahmad bin Hassan bin Abdullah, Shamsuddin Abu Abdullah Muhammad, and then Ahmad bin Yahya bin Fadlullah, Ibn Fadlullah al-Umari, and then Abul Abbas al-Zara'i, and the last one Ibn Shaykh al-Hazamiyin.
Ibnu Qayyim is an Islamic thinker who has contributed a lot to the intellectual treasures of Islam in various sciences. Ibnu Qayyim compiled a large number of studies beside his own books. He was a very diligent man in seeking knowledge and writing books. There are researchers who say that Ibnu Qayyim's writing in various fields of knowledge amount to 98 books. Ibnu Qayyim contributed in Islamic medicine through his scholarly writings. Ibnu Qayyim has compiled the hadith about the Prophet's medicine in a special section from his book entitled Zad al-Mad fi Hadi Khair al-Ibad, which is simply called as Zad al-Mad. Ibnu Qayyim also paid so much attention to the aspect of zakat, and he is the important figure in the economy of zakat. Ibnu Qayyim taught Islamic jurisprudence at Al-Sadra School in Damascus before he held the position of the Imam of the Jawziyah School for a long period.
Next, what we are portraying as such which is in design and layout for the poster. First, the background. We choose the black background to make people focus more on the important point that we state in poster rather than focus more to background. Black background with a little image of mosque at the foot poster give the Islamic vibe which is related to our task, which is Islamic scholars. Next, the colour. We choose the minimalist colour which are black for background, white for name of Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah and explaining points, yellow for the points, and a little bit green to enhance our poster. And the last one is the picture. We put the picture of Ibnu Qayyim as the big background of the poster, but we make it transparent. We also put the smallest picture and we make it as a logo to put beside name of Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah, which is at the top of the poster. The picture of Ibnu Qayyim at the left part of the poster, we made it as a mirror design.
Why Ibnu Qayyim al-Jawziyah is inspirational to this group? Discipline of Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Qayyim ultimately joined the study circle of the Muslim scholar Ibn Taymiyyah, who kept him in his company as his closest student, discipline, and his successor. So Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah has inspired all the members that choose him as a scholar by his self-discipline. Second, following the death of Ibn Taymiyyah. When Ibn Taymiyyah died, Ibn Qayyim was freed and subsequently furthered his studies, holding study circles and classes. He taught Islamic jurisprudence at Al-Sadriyah School in Damascus before he held the position of the Imam of the Jawziyah School. Ibn Qayyim has inspired this group to continue the best and right example that have been shown by his teacher. Third, spiritual life. Imam Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah was an avid and resolute worshipper. He devoted long hours to his nightly prayers and was in a constant state of remembrance, zikr. This is the most important how Ibn Qayyim gives inspiration to this group, which is through his worship of Allah. Why we choose Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah as our scholar? First, one of the most unfamiliar scholars. Ibn Qayyim is the one that we are familiar with his name rather than other scholars such as Hamka, Ibn Sina, and others. So we choose Ibn Qayyim to make more people know him and his contribution towards Islam. Second, one of the scholars that produced a lot of books based on his field. We choose Ibn Qayyim because he is one of the scholars that produced a lot of books such as Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah on knowledge, from key to the blissful abode. So we choose Ibn Qayyim to introduce to others about his books because to propagate his views, he wrote scores of books besides teaching directly to the people. Thirdly, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah has a great moral and role. Ibn al-Qayyim spent most of his time and great efforts trying to unite the people, pointing out to them the dangers of blind imitation of the predecessors. He explained that a Muslim should be open-minded. So we choose him because he has a great moral and role. Happiness is attained by three things. First, being patient when tested. Second, being thankful when receiving a blessing. And third, being repentant upon sinning.